title, Chaconne, it gives us a clue as to the phrasing of the music, the structure. So a very basic way to explain it is a theme and variations. Now there's another type of piece which is very similar, and it's called a Passacaglia. Have you heard of Passacaglia before?
No.
You've not heard, yeah. So some pieces are also called Passacaglia. And Chaconne and Passacaglia are very similar. Passacaglia means that you'll see a bass line that is descending like this. This kind of thing. So there's our first phrase. There's our second phrase, question and answer. It's a question and answer. Who recognizes the phrase structure? It's one that we talk about all the time.
This 8-bar sentence structure, throughout the entire Chaconne, it's 8-bar, sentences.
Right.
Yeah?
8-bar sentence, period, or parallel period. Yeah, parallel period. If you go through the piece and count 8 bars, you'll see how the piece is divided into phrases.
So that's, I call it a sentence, I have to, convincingly play.
Sentence is the term period is basically means sentence as well. So, so does that make sense, Enyi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sentence.
And each variation has exactly the same amount of measures. Yeah.
Yeah. So the variations will be the same amount of bars, 8 bars. So if you go through, I can give you a bit of a task to go through the piece, and every 8 bars, make a mark in the music. Mark every 8 bars. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a little bit, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we get to the next. You'll see a change. Every 8 bars, you'll see a change, and that's the variation. So this will be variation 1. This will be variation 2, and you can see, I think even just by looking on the score, you can see the difference. This one's low. And this one's variation 2. Is high. Okay, so you count 8 bars and you'll see the variations. The variations will appear when you count every 8 bars. So we mentioned that there's 4 bars and then another 4 bars. It's like a question and an answer. So this is where phrasing is when I say the word phrasing, we want to get a sense that, like when we speak, we speak in a sentence, that all of our words combine together and they create one complete sentence. So each chord is like a word here, right? Does that make sense? Each chord is like a word. So if I play, now what I'm doing is I'm speaking one word at a time, like word, another word, right? But what I'd like you to start doing is to create a sentence so that the words combine into one idea. Beautiful. Yeah. That's great. Let's stop it there. I'm already hearing a difference in how you're playing. So that's fantastic. One of the best ways to help us create a sentence is to play the melody on its own. Because especially here, we've got lots of chords. And when we play lots of chords, it's very easy to play a little bit staccato, and it makes it harder to create a sentence and make all of the notes into one idea. But if you play the melody on its own, it's a lot easier to form that musical sentence. You want to try that? Could you try playing the melody on its own, please? Yeah, let's stop there. Let's stop there, Enyi. That was great. I think it would help to observe the slurs here. If you played these slurs, could you try that? Just this part here, please. Yeah. Why are the slurs there? Why slurs? What do they do?
I don't know.
I think they help the the notes to flow. They help.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe a bit more. There's they're a bit lighter and more flowing. Yeah. You want to try that? Ah, bravo. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, great. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Very, very well done. You're obviously, even with the language barrier, you're understanding everything that I'm, talking about. One more thing about the Chaconne is that it's actually it was a dance at some point. At some point it was a dance. It was danced to. This, I don't think you'd be dancing very easily to this piece, although you could if you played it in a certain way, you could. But one of the features of the dance of the Chaconne dance is the second beat. The second beat of each bar is usually given a little bit of weight. It's stronger. The second beat is usually a little bit stronger. And actually, the Chaconne starts on the second beat. So it's not to say always, not always the second beat, but most of the time the second beat is given more, is stronger. The second beat is mostly stronger. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You want to try that? and then it starts on the second. That's the second beat there. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. 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 Okay. Excellent.
Okay.
I gave you a pretty, quite a bit of information there, and that can apply, a lot of that can apply to the whole piece. So playing, like thinking about the phrasing at every 8 bars, playing the melody on its own, and emphasizing or making the second beat stronger, looking out for times where the second beat is given some extra strength. There's a lot more we can talk about, but I think that gives a good overview of the Chaconne. Yeah, Tom, you got a question?
Because of the second beat accent, the eight bar phrasing is shifted by 1 beat.
Just like here, even 4 bars. So this is a 4-bar phrase, and you can see that's the 4th bar line, but the phrase actually ends after the bar line, and it's very common with Bach. It's very common that the phrase ends after the bar, not before the bar. So as Tom's saying, yeah, it's halfway through bar 4. That's where the answer begins, because the question began halfway through the first bar or halfway through the upbeat. So, or the anacrusis, we could call it. So you need to, that's something you need to look out for when you're counting the bars, the phrases will end over the bar line. And I mean, you can kind of hear it, because if you play, right, you need to, there's one more chord left, yeah? That one. And then you get the, and then you get the variation. Okay, so. Now, Enyi, when you play this variation, if you were to play the melody here, what is the melody? That's going to be an interesting. Da 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 da. Kind of goes like. It's buried in the middle. Right, that's the melody there. So it's sometimes it's not always easy to know where the melody is.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, it's very concealed. Not everyone I hear who plays the Chaconne, I think, is fully aware of that melody. Because when you put all of the other notes in,
but when you hear Daniel play it, you can hear this melody in almost every variation. Yeah.
I'm trying, I'm trying my best. Yeah.
Yeah, but this demonstrates that understanding of the piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got another, I tried to play it a few years ago, and I found that the best way to progress is practice 8 bars at a time.
Yeah. And that's kind of what you're doing now, Enyi. You're practicing, because there's a difference between practice and performance. So a performance, we start at the beginning and we play through to the end, or up to wherever you stop. But usually practicing the more the better practicing usually comes from practicing small amounts of music. 4 bars or 8 bars at a time is good. And making improvement. You want to hear improvements or focus on something, or study the music, or enhance the dynamics, or bring out the melody more. Just always improving something. That's good practice. If you have to say, you know, what is good practice? It's not playing something from the start to the end 100 times perfectly. It's improvement. It's constant enhancement and constant improvement of something, of some element of the music or your technique. You're constantly improving your technique. You're constantly improving your interpretation, your dynamics, your phrasing, the balance, bringing out the melody, things like that. So that's a good point that Tom raises there. Eli.
Yes, about bringing out a melody in the first variation, in the A chord, it's a 5-note chord. So do you play it just as a thumb stroke, or do you play the E slightly earlier to bring it out? Or is
Yeah,
it
you
just
could, or you could bring it later. You could bring it out later. Yeah, or early. It's kind of hard to do it early. But one trick is to play the melody note last. So like that. That can be a bit of a trick to help you bring out a note in a chord. But I think the first step is really to note, just to be hearing. You're just that melody so clearly in your ear. You want to hear it so badly that whatever you do, you roll it with your thumb, or you roll it with your fingers and your thumb. Whatever you do, it's going to come out. Just from pure desire. Yeah.
What way do you usually play it? Just
I think I like to do the thumb. Yeah, I think I like to do. So I'll be and trying to emphasize that 4th string a little bit.
okay,
And there's subtle things you can do, like you can let go of the other notes a little bit earlier. That kind of thing, right? Oh, that doesn't sound too good. It's a little bit of a trick, you know, to what you do with the other notes as well.